guys, let's start. Okay, it's it's 3 past 7, and I think the session would be too long. So let's start the session. So there are some thumb rules before I go and start. Okay, first is please everyone be on mute. If you want to talk something or if you have any questions regarding any topic which we are going to cover, we'll cover all the questions as soon as that particular topic is over. Okay, so don't open your mic in between and start talking. Please wait until I complete the entire topic. And the last thumb rule is this is the free version which I'm using of Zoom call, so this will get disconnected after 40 minutes. Okay, so it's a humble request that we need to disconnect this call after 40 minutes, and again we have to rejoin with the same link and same username and password. Okay, so let's start with this Excel for Beginners course free online webinar. Okay, you can say yes on the chat, or you can open your mic for a minute and say yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you guys. So let's start. So first thing what we need to understand is what is Excel. See, I'm using an Excel version of 2016, but the Excel version from 2010 till 2019 is as good as 2016. It doesn't mean that if you have Excel beyond 2010 for say 2003 and 2007 and what you are learning now would be of no help. It's not like that. Okay, even if you're using Excel 2003 or 2007, everything which you're going to learn in today's call would be useful in that also. So first let's understand what is Excel. See, Excel is a combination, or you can say it is combined with all the spreadsheet rows, columns, and it is a software made by Microsoft, Bill Gates. Okay, and it is made for software such as Windows, Mac OS, Androids, and iOS. I'm audible, right, for everyone? Great. So
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So Excel.
Yes, sir.
I got it. So Excel is a form of Microsoft Office, as MS Office consists of MS Word, MS Excel, MS Power. I'll just open my new. Okay, and Excel has features such as calculation. You can use graphical tools in Excel. Pivot tables can be made in Excel. So what are pivot tables? What are graphical tools? I'm very sorry, this would not be covered in today's lecture. But yes, these are parts of advanced Excel which sooner or later I am going to conduct it. So stay connected with the WhatsApp group. I am going to publish it, everything which I'm going to take. Okay, and there are more analytical tools also in Excel which is very useful for our day-to-day activities. So if you want to present a particular data in Excel, you can work in numbers, text, pictures, and dates and times. Who's this? Okay, if you have a very good understanding about Excel, if you learn very good Excel, see, it would also help you in your professional career as well, but it will also help you in your personal day-to-day activities like setting up a budget, or if you want to add anything, or you want to do any complex calculation, or if you want to manage your stocks, you can also do that, okay, using Excel. So that's it about Excel. I'm not giving a brief definition what is Excel. When you go further and learn what exactly we can do with Excel, then you will understand what exactly is Excel and why and how it is useful in your day-to-day activities. So let's start with the first thing, which is cut, copy, paste. So first thing, which is this is the first screen when we open a fresh Excel. Okay, so in the first screen, this tab, say home, insert, draw, layouts, formulas, this part of the Excel is known as the tabs. Okay, home, insert, draw. So this part of Excel is known as tabs. So if you click on home, okay, you can see multiple options in home, paste, and then this option is there, then these options are there. These are called ribbons. Okay, so in tab there are ribbons, and in the ribbons, if you can see this thin line which separates some options apart, these are called groups. So in home tab, this is the ribbon, and this is a particular group where you have paste, cut, copy, and other functions also. Okay, so apart from that, you can also find templates. So Excel, what Excel can do, you can go in file and you can click on templates. Excel has already inbuilt templates in it. Okay, if you want to work on a particular template, if you want to work on your family budget or your personal budget, Excel has already given you a by default inbuilt software where you just have to put in the values and everything would be calculated itself. Okay, so those are templates. Any questions for tabs, ribbons, groups, and templates?
Hi, Visma, this is Rashmi here. I just need to know, I am having the advanced version. I think it is
2019 is the advanced.
Yeah, so file, when I'm going on clicking on file, I am not getting that template option because it will give me that green bar which shows home, new, open and all.
When you go on file, you have to go to new.
Okay.
Once you click on new, you'll get an option of a blank Excel and also you'll get the templates next to it. Are you getting it, Rashmi?
No.
Rashmi, your voice is dropping.
Online templates. This is what it is saying. Hello, is it audible?
Yeah, you're audible, but voice is... Yeah, you're audible. Go on, Rashmi.
Hello. Okay.
Yes, Rashmi.
Okay. What I am saying is that if I'm going on new, I can't see that option. I can't see that option of template.
Okay, so you're using a version of 2019, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Rashmi, give me some time. I'll check why you are not able to see it, because the new template option is there in file only. Or even if you close the entire Excel and try to open it once again, it will give you whether you want to open a blank Excel. It will give you an option whether you want to open a blank Excel or you want to open the by default templates in it.
I will try.
You can try this now also. Don't find it.
I'm just trying it. I have but the new Excel is opening. New blank workbook. File. If I'm going on file, no, I can see only recent pinned. You haven't opened any workbook. Click open to browse for a workbook, and then new, open, info, save as. These are the options.
Okay, so I'll just check on which version are you. You're not using the 365 version.
I don't know actually which version it is.
So Rashmi, I'll talk on this separately with you. I need to check which version are you using, because there are some cracked versions also of Excel where they don't give the entire options also. Okay.
Okay, fine.
So moving on to the next thing is the Excel also consists of columns, the vertical things like A, B, C, D, and it goes up till X. Okay, so Excel consists of columns and rows. So columns are vertical, which starts with A, B, C, D, alphabetical, and it ends up till X, F, D. Okay, the last column which we have is X, F, D. So we have 65,000 columns and we have more than 1 million of rows. So, and rows always starts with a number. And wherever this column and a particular row intersects each other, this particular thing is called a cell. Okay, and every cell has a cell name. So for this particular cell where my cursor is, I'll just maximize this so you can see this. See, now my cursor is here, column B and row number 2. So wherever this column and row intersects with each other, it is called a cell name. And cell name is always mentioned at the left hand side over here where I have just selected. So the cell name for this particular cell is B2. So the column name is always taken first and the row name is always taken second. So B2 is the cell name for this particular cell. And see, if we select few more cells, if we select multiple cells at one single time, this particular thing is called a cell range. Okay, so it starts from B10 select, keep the click on your mouse and drag your mouse till B16. So this particular cell selected from B10 to B16 is called a cell range. Okay, any doubts on cell, column, cell name, and cell range and rows? Any doubts? Cool. Thanks, Raghavan, for the chat. Okay, now let's move on to our next topic, which is cut, copy, paste. So, see, I have one more topic to be covered in this particular webinar itself, that is how to do basic formatting in Excel. So as and when I'm going to show you how to use the functions and how to use different formulas, I'm going to show you how to format it also. So I'm not going to cover the basic formatting at the end of the call. I'm going to take it with the call itself. Okay, so I have this normal table in Excel. So this is called a table. You can increase the size with this magnified ruler in the right hand side top bottom. So I'm doing it to 200%. So this is the particular table. I suppose I want to draw table lines in it. I can go to home tab, and in this particular ribbon within this group I can just select this and I can say all borders. So the borders have been selected. If I want to color the header, I can go in this home tab in this particular ribbon and group. I can fill the background of yellow also. So this is included in basic formatting of Excel, which you can present your data in a proper format. So coming back to our topic, cut, copy, paste, let's put some ages over here, data in this. Is male. Suppose Ravi Kumar and Priya Patil are of same age. So I want to type this 29 in front of Priya Patil as well. So instead of typing it, what I can do is Excel has a function where we can directly copy a particular data and paste it wherever you want to do it. See, 29 is very small, but sometimes you have a big name like Vismay, Vijay, Rane and XYZ and everything. You want to copy this particular data and paste it in somewhere else. You can use this shortcut which is called as copy. For copy, you can use a keyboard and press Ctrl plus C. So blinking line appears around the cell, and wherever you want to paste it, the destination of that particular copied value, you have to click on that particular cell and say Ctrl plus V. So Ctrl plus C stands for copying a particular value, and Ctrl plus V stands to paste a particular value which has already been copied. You also have this covered in this home tab, and you have a first group where you can see paste, you can see a scissor icon of cut, and you can see a copy icon also. So instead of using the shortcut, you can also click on this will copy the thing, and if you want to paste it, it would also paste it. Okay, similarly for male, I don't want to type the entire spelling once again. I just need to copy it and I paste it, Ctrl V. Okay, I'll say 30, say 25, 35 and say 20. Okay, so in front of Priya Patil, I mistakenly wrote male. Okay, and in front of Renuka Chawda, I wrote female. Now what I want to do is I want to cut this and I want to paste it to somewhere else. So for formula or the shortcut for cut is Ctrl plus X. Okay, so I cut this, I put it somewhere else, and I copy Ctrl C female and I put it over here, Ctrl V. Great. So I hope you are clear with the cut, copy, paste. This is used almost everywhere, not only in Excel but also in Word and PowerPoint. Any questions on cut, copy, paste and the basic formatting which we just saw? No. Great. So moving to our second next topic is addition. See, addition is mostly used in Excel. If you want to do anything in Excel, addition, subtraction and divisions are mostly used in all the complex formulas also. So let's first do the formatting part. I'll select the entire table over here. For selection, you have to click on your mouse and drag your mouse till the point till the cell range where you want to draw a table. Once I selected the entire table, I'll just click on this all borders. Now this is the header. I need a big header, so I'm selecting from A1 to E1, and then I'm saying merge. Okay, once I click on merge, the entire cell becomes A1. Okay, are you with me, guys?
Yes.
So I'm just also merging this cell also. I'm merging this cell also.
Yes.
That was great. Good energy, Nicholas. So I'm merging these two cells. Now suppose if I want to color this, you can color this. You can use some other color also. Don't use the color which I'm using. So this is included in the basic formatting. Now suppose these are employee names, and this is the business done by these employees in week 1, week 2, week 3 and week 4. Okay, now I want a total of the business done by Mr. Albert for the entire month. In order to do that, I can use a formula also, or I can use a function also. Now what is the difference between a formula and a function? Formula is a user defined formula where I select the cells, I enter a plus signature or a minus signature, and then I press OK. And function is something which Excel has inbuilt within it. Okay, so let's understand what is formula and what is function. So I am going to do the same thing using a formula here, and I'm going to do the same thing using a function here. So let's see what it is. So for formula, what I'll do, I'll just say equal to, I'll select the first week business, that is B4, I'll say plus sign. I'll select the second week business, that is C4, plus sign. The third week business, D4, plus sign. And the fourth week business, D4, plus sign. First, that's it for the entire month. And I say enter. Once you press enter, it will give you the answer for the entire, what is the business done for the entire month. So for this following employees, you don't need to put in the formula again and again. What you can do, you can simply say Control C, you copy the formula, select the cells where you want to paste the formula, where you want the result of that particular formula, and say Control V. Okay, so if you do that, you don't need to go ahead and type in the formula again and again. If you want to check what is the cell selected for this particular Sumesh, you just click on this, and in this formula bar you can see B6, C6, D6 and E6 is being selected. Great. So this is using a formula. In the example 2, if we want a business for week 1 and week 3, what you have to do, you have to select week 1, that is B4, and week 3 is D4, and say OK. Similarly, for week 2 and week 4, week 2 is C4 plus week 4 is E4, and I say OK. I copy this. I copy both the columns. You can copy both the columns at one single time. I've selected the entire cells where I need to push or where I need to paste this formula, and I say OK. Okay, so this is addition doing a formula. Now let's understand how to do addition using a function which is inbuilt by an Excel. Okay, if I want to do the same formatting, I'll just select the entire table. In the home tab, you have a paintbrush. This paintbrush is known as formatting. So you just click on this once and click over here. So the same formatting gets applied to the below table also. Now let's understand how to do a sum using a function. So function is inbuilt in Excel. So for addition, a function is called sum, S-U-M, sum. I open the bracket. Now I want to do a sum of this entire month. So week 2, week 3, week 4. So I'll just select the entire cell range starting from B14. B is the column name and row is 14. So B14 is to E14. Close the bracket and press enter. See, the answer over here and the result over here is same. So using a formula and using a function gives you the same result. But if you have multiple cells to be calculated, using a formula won't work because you have to do it manually. You have to select a cell one by one. In that case, you have to use functions. So I just copy these functions. You can also use functions this way. Here I have selected the entire cell range. You can also use sum. first cell, comma second cell, comma third cell, comma fourth cell. Press enter. This will also give you the same answer, the same result, but the functions are always used with a cell range. Okay, I'll just copy this and I'll go paste it in the below cells as well. Now I want to do it for week 1 and week 3. So sum, open brackets, week 1, comma, week 3, close bracket. Gives me the same answer as we had got using a formula. And the third example is week 2, comma, week 4. Same answer. I'll just copy this and paste it. Okay, great. So any questions in sum formula and sum range and some functions? Anything? Great. Hello? Yeah? Ketki, you were asking something?
No, not me.
Okay, great. So let's move on to the other function, that is multiplication. So multiplication also we have a formula as well as we have a function also. That function is called as product. So first let's do the normal formatting. I want to merge this. I want a table against this, and I want to and I want a similar formatting for the below table also.
मेरे को अंदर ही दे दिया बहन.
Okay, good. So what does a product formula or a product function do? It just does the multiplication. Okay, in our earlier school days mathematical terms, it does the multiplication. So suppose I have this data where I have a serial number, product name, a unit price, total number of units purchased, and I want to find what is the total cost of that particular price. So how to do that? Using a formula is simple, just equal to, then select the product price and number of units. So you have to use a sign called asterisk, okay, which is shift and number 8, okay, and select how many units. So C3 into D3, I press enter and I simply copy that formula and I simply paste it in the below cells. So this is doing multiplication using a formula. Now let's understand doing multiplications using a function. So for function you have to go to product, PRODUCT, open brackets, and you have to just select what you have to multiply. You don't have to put any asterisk sign or any signs in between, and you close the bracket and say enter. I copy the formula, the functions, and paste it below. The result is same. So see, multiplying 2 or 3 cells is okay for using a formula, but if you have multiple cells, suppose if I add I just cut this and keep it over. Suppose if I add one more column here, and I have toothpaste 50 rupees, 3 units, and what would be the cost for next 6 months, what would be the cost for next 12 months, what would be the cost for next 24 months, and so on. Suppose the multiplication formula, if we have multiple columns, the product function is much easier to use rather than a product formula. I have to just select the entire cell range and close the bracket and say okay. Copy the formula and say okay. See, so the product function or a sum function is very useful where you have a huge data. So if you are using Excel, I'm sure you would be working on a huge data. You would not be working, as I'm giving you examples over here, of columns of 2-3 columns or rows with only 3-4 rows. Okay, so this is up for the multiplication. Any questions on the multiplication or the product function? Redmi Note Pro, you want the product formula to be explained again. Okay, great. So the product formula is, suppose this is the table, okay, and these are the product names. I have units, the price of the units, and I have the total number of units to be purchased, and I want to find the cost. So what is the cost which is going to be occurred for me? So for doing that, what I need to do is I just need to select the cell where I need the particular result, say equal to, select the price of the unit and into, that is asterisk sign, and then select the number of unit purchased and say enter. Just copy it and paste it. Copy is Ctrl plus C, paste is Ctrl plus V. I hope your product formula is clear for you. Let me note Pro. Let's move on to the next formula. Okay, I hope everyone is there. Okay. So now this is of the subtraction formula. How to do subtraction? In subtraction, we don't have any functions. There is no inbuilt functions made by Excel. We have to do it manually when you want to subtract anything. So this is a budget file which you can make at your house, and you can see what is your income and where is your expenses going. So let me first do the formatting. I'll just format this quickly. Please see how I'm doing the formatting. Okay, so this is in this columns I have a income column in these two columns, and these two columns are for expense column. Okay, suppose the salary is 50,000, you received a bonus of 70,000 for that particular month, so the total income for that particular month, if I sum it, is 75,000. Now if I take out my household expenses, household is 15,000, groceries are 20,000, and bill are for 4,500. So the expense is from column D to column D2 to column D5. So the expense is 39,500. Now I need to find what is the left out money with me. Okay, so how to do it? Just simply say equal to income minus, so minus is what we are using from our school days, so that doesn't change in Excel also, minus the other cell which is expenses. So 75,000 is my income and expenses 39,500. I select D6 and I say OK, and that gives me an answer of 35,500. That is the leftover amount which we got it using a subtraction formula. Great. All on the same page? Someone say yes. Thanks, Raghav. Thanks, KP. Thanks, Raghav.
Yes.
Great. Chalo, let's move on to the
Yes.
next. Thank you. We have completed 33 minutes of the session. I think the session will get disconnected in between. I'm not stopping it here, but if it gets disconnected, I request you all guys who have just connected with me, connected once again. Okay, so now let's quickly go to the division formula. This is not big formula. Now I'm not doing the formatting part. I'm very well aware that you know how to do the formatting. Okay, this is the table for division. I'm using the same example. The total cost which I incurred to buy a toothpaste 3 units is 150. Total cost to buy 4 soaps is 100. Total cost to buy 2 shampoos is 200. Now I want to know what is the per unit price. For that, what I'll do, I'll just say equal to, I'll select the total cost incurred and I divide it. So the sign of division in Excel is backslash. This is just besides the shift button on your laptop or on your keyboard. Backslash and select the number of units purchased and say OK. You get 50 rupees is the per unit cost for toothpaste. I'll copy this formula and paste it below. Okay. So division and subtraction doesn't have a function in Excel. Yes, sum and multiplication has a function in Excel. Division and multiplication we have to do it on your own using an asterisk sign or a division sign. Okay. Now let's quickly move on to percentage. So,
sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah, Rupali, tell me.
Sir, I'm a teacher, and being a teacher, we have to assign grade also. We have to give grades. So, how to calculate grades in Excel?
the grades are
Depends on the
calculated
percentage.
depends on the percentage, right? So this is going to be covered.
Yes.
We are covering this how to give grades depending on the percentage in the if functions. So this is this would be covered in the if functions. Okay. So which we are going to do it today. Once we learn the if function, let me know if you have any questions. Great. So let's start with the percentage thing once again. I have this particular data where I have the names of the students, the subjects, the total marks which they have earned, and I need to calculate a percentage. Okay. So how to do that? How does a percentage work? Percentage is the total marks achieved by the students upon the total marks of the subjects of the papers. Suppose the total marks for these 4 papers is 400. Okay, for these papers is 400 because 100 marks each paper and into 100. So how to do that? So equal to the marks which is achieved by the student upon the total marks, that is 400 into 100. Okay, this will give you the exact percentage. What is the percentage of the student? Okay, you can just copy this. You can just copy this and paste it. Okay, you can also do a percentage using a simple, because you see when you do a percentage using a formula, percentage sign doesn't appear. So if you want a percentage sign also, you can what simply do is just equal to the total marks achieved by the student upon the 400, the total marks of the entire exam, and just press enter. Copy this and paste it over here. Now I need to know what are the percentage. This value will come in decimal points. I'll select both these cells and I'll go to home tab, and in this particular ribbon and in this particular group you can see a percentage sign. You can just click on that and you will get the percentage. If you want to increase the decimal points in that particular home tab, within that besides that percentage sign, you can see an option for increasing of decimal points, and you can also see an option for decreasing of decimal points. Hope this makes percent very clear. Okay, so let's move on to the other topics. Okay, great. So in other topics, which these small functions, these are all functions in Excel which are used day in day out in all the calculations. Okay, now let's start with average first. Okay, suppose these are students. I'll just maximize this so that you can see it properly. Okay. So these are student names. This is one single student. Okay, these are exams: first unit test, first term, second unit test, and final. Okay, and these are total marks achieved by that particular student in those exams. Now I need to find the average marks achieved by this particular student. So average can be used, can be done using a formula also, and can be done using a functions also. So let's first understand how to do using a formula. So average using a formula would be equal to this, equal to open bracket this plus this plus this plus and the marks in final, close bracket, divide by 4. Because there were 4 exams, I want to calculate the average marks received by Mr. Jadhav in these 4 exams, and I press enter. It gives me the average marks achieved by this student for the 4 exams. This was using a formula. Now we have an inbuilt function by Excel to calculate average. That is very simple. Press equal to sign, type average AVA. You can get the option below. Just press tab once you get the option and select the entire cells for which you want to calculate the average and close bracket. Okay. So hope you understand the formula as well as the function for average.
Basically, just take the cursor on the formula.
Rashmi, I think your network connection is very weak. Your voice is not clear. Rashmi?
I'm just saying, your cursor. Hello.
Can you type the question, Rashmi?
Yes.
Rashmi, you there?
Yes, hello.
Rashmi, I can't hear you properly. If you could type the question, I'll answer your question.
I have typed. Hello. Am I audible, Vismay?
Now you're audible. Go ahead.
Yeah, I keep.
No. I think she got disconnected. Okay, great. So any questions on the average formula as well as functions? I don't think so. Let's move on to the next functions, that is count. So in count there are multiple functions like count, then count A, count blank. So what are these? So let's understand one by one. Suppose these are cells, and this particular cells I'll fill in some values like any random values. Okay, it's nothing to take with the formula. Okay, so this particular cell has numeric values in these 5 cells. Okay, now I want to count how many cells. Suppose there are n number of cells and you want to count how many entries are there without blanks. Okay, you don't want to count blanks. So what the function you need to use is count, COUNT, open brackets, and you simply select the cell range. Okay, and close bracket. It will give you an answer of 5. Okay, but make sure when you are counting a particular cell range or a data range, those only consist numeric values. Count functions only works on numeric values and not on who is playing with this pens. I don't understand. So count function only works on numeric values and it doesn't works on alphabetical values. Okay, so if your data range is of numerics, only numbers, then only you can count those using a count function. Suppose your data consists a numeric alphabetical value, it will not count. See, it gives the answer changes to 4. If I delete this, the answer changes to 4. If I say a numeric value 5, the answer changes again to 5. But suppose you want to count the alphabetical values as well as the numeric values and everything in a particular cell range, you want to count the total number of entries done for that particular day, you can use a function called as count and A, single A, open brackets, select the entire cell range and say close bracket. Okay. Now this will also count the alphabetical values which are there in this particular data range. Okay, but if you keep a data range in count, it will not count it. Okay. And now is count blank. So what is count blank? Suppose you have a data range from column 1 to column 10,000 and you want to understand how many people have left their email ID blank or how many people have not updated their mobile numbers. You can simply use a count blank formula where you can understand these many people have not entered their details which was required. Suppose in cell 1 the data is there, in cell 2 the data is there, cell 3 the data is there, cell 4 and cell 5 the data is missing. Now what you do, you just simply say count blank, open the brackets and select the entire data range and say OK. And then you will come to know that 2 of the people have not, 2 data range have not filled their basic details or whatever was required. Count blank takes into consider only the blank cells. Count A considers everything. It counts the numeric as well as the alphabetic values, and count only counts the numeric values. Okay, I hope you are good with count functions. Alphabetical means name, anything other than numeric values. Hope that answers your question. Great. Now let's move on to length. Length is also a function. Please explain count A, Akshay. Okay, great. So Akshay, count A, what does count A does? Count A counts the numeric value as well as the alphabetical values in a particular cell range. Suppose in this particular cells, cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, I have alphabetical values as well as numeric values, and I want to count total number of cells filled in that particular data range. So I'll simply use a formula called as count A, and I simply select the cell range, and it will give me the answer 5. Okay, hope that answers your query, Akshay. Thanks, Akshay. So let's move on to length. Length is nothing but to count characters in a particular cell. Okay, suppose this is my name, Vismay Vijay Rane. I have space. I have 2 space in between, 3 spaces in my between first name, middle name, and again 3 spaces, 4 spaces between my middle name and last name. Now I want to count the length of this particular cell. Okay, you are right, Redmi Note Pro. Count is only numeric, count is alphabetical and numeric, right? So if I want to count the length of characters in this particular cell, you have a function called as len, that is len, open bracket, select that particular cell and close bracket. Copy this, paste it. See, there are different types of lengths which are present in this particular cells. Length function doesn't work in a cell range. Length function always work with one single cell. You can't type a cell range in a length function. Okay, you want me to repeat the length thing? Redmi Note Pro, what's your name? Okay, suppose if you want to count the characters in a particular cell. Okay, suppose this is a particular cell, I want to count the characters in a particular cell. These counting also include a space in between any names, or before the name, or after the name. If there are any spaces in between a particular character, it gives you the total number of length. Suppose this total number of length, to calculate that you have to use a formula called len, len, open bracket, select this particular cell and close bracket, and just copy this and paste it below where you want to calculate length. Okay, when you are calculating a length, okay, as we know the above functions like count A, count blank, we can select a particular cell range from B13 to say F13, but when you're using a function of length, you have to only select one single cell. You can't use a formula like this from A20 to A22. Okay, it won't work. This is working because we have already calculated here. So the advanced Excel already knows that you need to calculate the length of the entire thing. Okay, hope I answer this. Any questions on length?
No, thank you very much.
No problem. Now let's understand trim. What does a trim function do? Okay, suppose as we saw that this length was haywire, this 22, 24, 23. We want this particular data to be trimmed as in we need to remove the extra spaces or extra gap in between a particular word. We just need one single space after a particular word. If you want to do that, this is very useful when you are typing something. Suppose my name is I put in some more spaces, is, then again spaces, Vismay, and I don't want these extra spaces in between. In this particular thing, if you want to remove the spaces for the n number of cells, you can use a function called as trim. For trim, trim, open bracket, select this cell close bracket, and OK. Now let's see what was the length before and what is the length now after trimming the data. Okay, I'll just delete this. The length before trimming the data was 22 for this, and after trimming, let's see what is the length. After trimming, the length is 70. See, all the extra spaces and gaps in between the letters are gone. So trim function is very useful when you want to delete extra spaces. I hope it is clear.
Yes. Clear.
Yes.
Thank you. Now let's move on to the uppercase, lowercase, and propercase. So all these uppercase, lowercase, and propercase functions are used in formatting part, where you want to show the data in uppercase, that is capital letters. If you want to show a capital letter data in a lowercase, and where you want to, Gupti, you want the explanation on trim function again? Okay. So trim function, if you have any extra spaces in a particular cell characters, a trim functions remove all that extra spaces. Suppose this was the data which we had, which earlier the length of this particular data is 22. When you trim it, okay, when you trim this particular data, the extra spaces which are there in that particular cells get removed. So when I check the new length after trimming, it goes to 70. So all the extra space before the letter, after the letter, before the cell, before the any character is being removed. Only one single space is kept. Yes, Vidula, one question. What is that? Ketke, is it okay if I repeat that count A after we finish with the if function?
Sir, can I ask one question?
Yep.
Sir, for trimming, do we have to assign any value? Because it was first 22, then now it is 17. So how it trims?
For trimming, you don't need to assign any value. For trimming, you have to select a particular cell in which you want the data to be trimmed. Okay. In this example, which I have shown you, in my name, there are unnecessary spaces between my first name, middle name, and last name. I want to remove the unnecessary spaces. Okay, so I just need to write trim and select that particular cell where I don't need that spaces, and close the bracket.
Okay,
and press enter. You don't need to put in any values. After that, I just check those 22 and 17 are the number of characters before trim and after trim. Okay, so before trim there were 22 characters in that particular cell, and after trimming, after removing those unnecessary spaces, the length of that particular name was 70. So you don't need to put in any particular values as such.
Okay, I got it, sir.
Thank you. So let's move to the uppercase, lowercase, and then the propercase. The data here is in lowercase. All the words are small. Vismay Rane, Ramkumar Singh, Rahul Jadhav, Yashwant. Yes, Vidula, your question. Is there any formula? Formula for what?
What if I want to give a space?
You want to give a space?
Yes. If I already have Vismay Vijay Rane in a perfect manner, but I need to give some space between Vismay, Vijay, and Rane. I want to increase the space. How do I do that?
You don't have a formula for that, but there is a function called as concatenate, which will be covered in the advanced Excel part.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
So let's move on to upper lower. So this is the data where I have a set of cells all in small. I want to do it in uppercase. So simply equal to UPPER open brackets and select that particular cell and close bracket. So what was here in small, now it is here in uppercase. I copy this and I paste it. Okay. Similarly, vice versa, if the data is in uppercase and you want to do it in lowercase, so simply equal to LOWER open bracket, select the particular cell which you want to lower the case of, close bracket, copy this and paste it. Okay. I hope uppercase and lowercase was a cakewalk for everyone. Now, what is proper case? In this particular data, I have data where V is capital, I is small, S is small, M is capital. So the data and the upper and smaller case are mixed. I want to do it in a proper case where I need a first initial. For Vismay, V should be capital, and for Rane, R should be capital. The rest should always be in small. That is called as a proper case. So simply say equal to proper, open bracket, select the cell, close bracket, copy it and paste it. Ta-da! Any questions?
No.
Ketki, moving
No.
back. Thank you, guys. Ketki, moving back to your question, you wanted to understand what is count A, right? Yes. You said
Yes, please.
count. Yeah. So count A, you understood what is count, right? Count.
Count.
Yeah. So count counts the entire values in a particular cell range only if it is a numeric value. Okay.
Yes.
And count A is, it also counts a numeric value as well as the alphabet value. Suppose the mobile number, email ID, and the name are there in a particular cell range, and you want to count it everything, you can use a counting formula. But if there is only mobile numbers in a particular column, you can use a count formula.
Okay.
Okay, I hope I answer your question.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's move on to if functions, which is very useful. This is covered in basic Excel, but actually it is not part of basic Excel because it is a logical formula which can be used, and it can really make your life easy if you can understand how to use it. So I think someone had asked me, Miss Rupali, you were asking me how to give grades for your students depending on the percentage, right? So
Yes, sir.
I will cover that in this examples. So let's go one by one. I have total 5 examples for if. I'll make sure that you are champion in if functions. Okay. So now let's go on to our first example. In this particular example, we have 2 columns, value 1, value 2. And let's see what we want to find. Find if values in column B, so this is column B, is greater than value in column A. So we need to find whether this column B values are higher than column A. So how to do that? You simply say equal to if. Now, if we talk in simple English, if the column B value is greater than column A, give me that particular answer. Otherwise, give me that particular answer. In a simple English, we frame a sentence like this. Similarly, Excel function also work in that particular way. So if column B, that is column B3, is greater than, so greater than sign is this, which is shift, and you will find that greater than sign in that row, greater than column A. So if B3 value is greater than A3 value, comma, you give me an answer yes, or any answer if you want. Any answer which you want to give should always be in double quotes. Okay, so if B3 value is greater than A3, if the value is true, if you can see, if the value is true, give me yes. If the value is false, give me no. I close the inverted comma and I close the bracket. Okay, so if B3 is greater than A3, give me the value yes. If the value is true, give me yes. If the value is false, show me no. See, in this particular case, I'll just copy this formula and drag it down and paste it. So let's see how many yes we have got. We have got 1, 2. Let's highlight this, 3 and 4. So all the yes what we have got, all the if function is true. So 700 is greater than 500, so it has shown us yes. 848 is greater than 600, so we got our answer yes. 5165 is greater than 600, so yes. 216 is greater than 3, so yes. Hope this is clear, this example. Yes and no. Yes and no is okay. You can type anything. Instead of yes, you want to say
Yes.
you can say yes, B is greater. Anything between the inverted quotes you can play with the words. Okay, so anything between the inverted words, you can type whatever you want to. Great. Yes, Anand, we can filter yes and no also. Filtration is the advanced part. That's the reason I am not shown here. Great. So let's move on to the next example, where what we need to find if the value in column A, so this is column A, is greater than column B. So this is vice versa what was there above. Okay, so let's say if the column A is greater than column B, and if the value is true, say yes, close inverted comma, if the value is false, say no, open inverted comma, say no, close inverted comma, and close the bracket. Okay, so let's see whether this is working. Column A is greater than column B. No. So in this case, the column B is higher than column A. I'll just copy this and I'll paste it. Let's see how many yes we have got. So this is yes, where column A is greater than column B. This is also yes, where column A is greater than column B. That's the reason that we are getting column yes, and the last also, column A is greater than column B. Great. So our if function is working properly. Any questions on these two simple if functions? Because we are going to move on to some complex if functions now. Redmi Note Pro, no, thank you. Ketki, you have questions, tell me.
No, I mean it was good to go ahead. Sorry.
Thanks.
Sorry.
No problem. So let's move. Okay, now the last three examples for if functions, these are a bit complicated but not that. Okay, now let's see the third example. What we need to find, we need to find salesmen achieving 80% of his target is eligible for incentive. Suppose these are our salesmen, this is the target and this is what they have achieved, and if the result is more than 80%, if the achievement is more than 80%, then they are eligible for incentive, else they are not. So how to do that? So equal to, if open bracket, what is the logical test? First thing it is asking, what is the logical test? So logical test would be this divided by this into 100. We just understood how we should calculate percentage. So this divided by the target into 100 is greater than 80%. So if the achievement is greater than 80%, comma, what you want to show if the value is true, I want to show is eligible for incentives, close inverted comma, and what if the value is false? Say not eligible, close inverted comma and close bracket. Only one single person is eligible for incentive. Now let's check whether this formula, this if lookup is been working properly. For that, we'll just simply calculate the percentage. Copy this, paste it, and I say percentage. Great. So this Bhuvan has only achieved 40% of his target. Avesh has achieved 70%. Mahesh has achieved 80%, and only person who has overachieved 80% is Ganesh. That's the reason he's been eligible for incentive. Now let's try to change this. Let's try to change 3.5 lakhs to 7.475 lakhs. See, so whenever a value changes, the if functions also work accordingly, and it gives you the true value. Great. Kindly repeat. What you want me to repeat, Mr. Redmi Note Pro? Please redo this. Okay. I'll start it 1 second. Okay, so now what we need to find, if the achievement of a particular salesman is more than 80% of his given target, he should be eligible for incentive. Okay, so this is the target which these salesperson have, and this is the achievement of the sales what they have done. So now let's see if they have achieved more than 80%, we should get an answer they are eligible for incentive. So if, what is the logical test? This divide by this into 100. This is the percentage formula we just learned a few minutes back. Is greater than 80. Okay? If this particular logical test is greater than 80, he should be eligible. Close bracket, close inverted comma, else he should be not eligible. Not eligible, he is eligible. Understood? Miss Rupali, this can be used in your school also for using grades.
Yes, sir.
Right? I hope this.
But sir, there are 5 grades now. A, B, C, D, E. So within one column on one single cell, we have to assign all the values.
I'll cover this in the next few examples. If you still don't understand, I'll make a different example only for you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now let's see the next example, wherein incentive. If the achievement is greater than equal to 80%, that particular salesman should get 1,500 rupees of his incentive. If the achievement is anywhere between 70 to 79%, he should get 1,000 rupees. If the achievement is anywhere between 65% to 69%, he should get 500. Miss Rupali, you can use this particular example where you can say if marks are between this and this, he'll get grade A. If the marks are between this and this, he'll get grade B. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let's see how to do it. First, understand what is the logical test we need to do. Achievement over and above 80%, 1,500. Anything between 70 to 79, 1,000. Anything between 65 to 69, 500 rupees. And anything below 65, don't give him anything. He's of no use. So now let's first get the achievement. So achievement would be this, divide by this 65%. I just copy it and paste it. So ideally this 65% guy should get 500 rupees because this is greater than and equal. Okay, now let's understand how to do this. Okay, please pay attention. This would be a little complex function. Okay, if open bracket first logical test. What is the first logical test? Anything above 80%, greater than equal to 80. So if this achievement is greater than or equal to 80%, this is our first logic. If yes, give him 1,500. Okay, comma, then the second logical test. But in if function you can't give the second logical test. So what should we do? You can always nest a if function in an if function. So this is called a nested if. So if the second logical test, if this is greater than equal to 70%. So what is if greater than equal to 70%? Give rupees 1,000. Okay, and the last logical test is if if open bracket this is greater than equal to 65%, give him 500 rupees, else give him 0. Close bracket. You should remember how many ifs have you opened. Okay, in my case I have opened 1, 2, 3. So the bracket we are closing should also be 3. 1 bracket close, 2 bracket close, and 3 bracket close, and press enter. See what is our incentive says. If he has achieved anything greater than or equal to 65 and 69, he should get rupees 500. I copy this and I press enter. Anything between 70 and 79, he should get 1,000 rupees. Anything above 80%, he should get 1,500. And anything less than 65, he should get 0. Understood? I'll explain it once again. Okay. First logical test. What is a first logical test? If the salesman has achieved more than 80%, he should get 1500. We are close to reach 40 minutes for this session also. I request you to get connected once again for the last session. Okay. So the first logical test is if a salesman achieves more than equal to 80%, he should get 1500 rupees. If he achieves greater than equal to 70 and anything between 70 to 79, he should get 1000 rupees, and incentive should be 500 if he achieve anything between 65 and 69. So our first logical test, if this achieved percentage is greater than equal to 80%, give him 1500 rupees. Okay. If false, check for the second logical test. If this achieved percentage is greater than equal to 70%, give him 1000 rupees. If false, check for the third logical test. If the achievement is greater than equal to 65%, give him 500 rupees. If any of these conditions are not meeting, just give him 0 rupees and close all the 3 if function bracket and press enter and copy this formula and paste it below. Any question, guys?
No.
Thank you. I'm disconnecting this call. Let's connect in 2 minutes. Okay, great. I think everyone has made up again. Thank you so much, guys. Great. So let's start. Now let's check the last example. I think this session would not be much lengthy because we are on the last example of the if functions. Okay, now let's understand what is our third if functions want from us. Okay. Now here what it is asking, if the incentive give a person incentive if he 50% and above, but here the value is not been given. Here we need to calculate a value. So what does it say? If a person achieve more than 80%, okay. If a salesman achieve more than 80%, give him 25% of the amount which he has achieved. Okay, suppose in this particular example, Mr. Bhuvan has achieved 3,25,000 of a business volume. Who is this, guys? Please be on mute. I don't want. So what does that mean? Suppose if he achieve more than 80%, whatever volume of transaction he has done, okay, whatever is the volume of transaction he has done, he should get 25% of that volume. Okay, that it means. Okay, and the second is if he achieve anything between 70 to 79. In the above example, we were giving him 1000 rupees, but in this example, I need to give him 20% of how much he has achieved. Okay, I am ready to give him 20% if we have achieved a so and so amount. And the last is if we have achieved anything between 65 and 69, give him the 10% of the volume he has done. Okay, so this is also a little bit complex but easy. Okay, now let's first take what is the achievement. This into this. Okay, and I copy this and paste it, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. So these are the achievements. So ideally this 65% should get 10% and what he has achieved. So it should be 10% of 3,25,000. For this 70%, guys, please be on mute. Okay. For this 70%, he should get 20% of what he has achieved. So he should get 20% of 3,50,000. And for this 80% and above, they should get 25% of what they have achieved. Okay, whenever you are using a if function, you should first understand what is the logic. You should be clear about the logic first. If you are not clear about the logic, you can't put in the formula the right way you want to. Okay, so first please understand what we want in this particular formula. So let's start. First logical test is anything above 80%, give him 25. So logical test, this is greater than 80%, give him, if the value is true, what we need to give? We need to give him whatever he has achieved, 25% of whatever he has achieved. So I'll just select this is his achievement, into 25%. Else, this is the first value. If the first value is false, then check for the second logical test. The second logical test is if he has achieved anything greater than 70%, give him, sorry, there should not be inverted commas, okay, because we are not putting any text. If you're putting any text like he is eligible, he will get inserted, if is yes, no, then only you will put this inverted commas. But if you are using a formula, you will not put it an inverted comma. Anything in an inverted comma in Excel is considered to be a text, so that Excel considers that this is a text which we need to throw when some formula is right or wrong. Okay, then say comma, then say whatever he has achieved into 20%. Else, check for the last logical test. This is greater than equal to 65. Give him whatever he has achieved into 10%. If neither of the logical tests are true, just give him 0 rupees, and make sure you close all the if conditions. I have opened 3 if conditions, so I will close 3 circle brackets and I press OK. I just change the format of this. Okay. I've changed the format of the cell because the format of the cell was into percentage. I've just clicked on this comma sign, which changed the format of the cells to numeric value. So this particular person has got 32,500. Why? Because he has achieved between 65% and 69%. So he should get the 10% of whatever he has achieved. So what is 10% of what he has achieved? Let's check. Here the 10% of what he has achieved is into 10% is 32,500. So great, our formula is working correct. Now let's check for the other people also. Here he has got 70,000 because we said he should get 20% if he has achieved anything between 70 to 79. Then 1,12,500, and he gets nothing because he has achieved only 30%. So let's cross check whether this values which we have got is right. He has got 70,000. Why? Because he should get 20% if he has achieved 70% of his target. So whatever is achieved into 20%, yes, 70,000 is right. Here he has achieved more than 80%, so he should get 25% of whatever he has achieved. So he has achieved achievement is 4 lakhs into 25%. 1 lakh is the right amount. 1,12,500 is the right amount. 1,12,500 is the right amount. Great. Any questions in this? So in this particular thing, we didn't have a particular amount as an incentive. Here the condition said that you calculate on your own. Okay, so this changes as per the achievement. So this was a dynamic if functions. Any questions? Ms. Rupali, I think, do you want me to cover up your grades also?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do it.
It will be nice of you.
I'll copy this particular table. I'll paste it over here. Let's assume these are students. And what is your grades? So tell me your grades. Over and above how many percent?
If the child acquires above 80, then he gets A grade. Then from 60 to 70 B.
60 to 70 B.
70 B, and 40 to 60 C, and below 35, sorry, 35 to 60 C. 35 to 60.
35 to 60 is C.
C.
And less than
below
35.
Less than 35 D grade.
D.
70, 80 से 80 नहीं बच्चे.
अच्छा sir.
Anything below that? Because I think I am E.
Yes, E is also there, but let it be. Sir, we have missed. We have missed between 70 to 80.
70 to 80, okay.
70 to 80.
So 70 to 80 is B,
Yeah, B.
right? And then
Yes,
60,
and C.
70 is C.
C, D, and then last E.
Okay, this is what
Yeah.
it is, right? Now let's assume
Yes.
these are your students. Okay, I'll just remove this. Okay, I'll say Bhuvan has achieved 80. Sorry, achieved 80. Say Bhavesh has achieved 35. Anything less than also should be there. He has achieved 75. And he has achieved 65. And he has achieved 50. Okay, suppose. Okay, this is what you want, right? And here are
Yes.
grades. Instead of incentive, we say grades. So let's see how to do this. Okay, so equal to if first condition is anything above 80. If he is greater than, if the achievement is greater than 80, he should get
80.
grade A. I simply say A.
Let me
Okay?
screenshot later.
Okay, anything above 80, it should be grade A. Then check for the second logical test. That is, if anything above 70%, he should be B. Right? Anything between 70 to 80, he should be B. Then check for the third condition. If the achievement is anything between 60 and 70, so anything about 60%, give him as C. Okay, and the fourth is if the achievement is anything above 35 now. 35%, he should be D.
D.
Else, if he is not matching any of these criteria, keep him in
E.
Okay, now how many ifs I have opened? 1, 2, 3 and 4. I need to close 4 brackets now. 1,
O.
2, 3 and 4. And I say okay. So, if this is, I'm sorry, I didn't put 80 only. If this is greater than 80%, false over here, and now everything's good. So here he gets B because I have written greater than 80. Okay, I have not said greater than equal to 80. If I change this formula greater than equal to 80, then he may get A. Okay, so
right.
if this particular student achieve 81, then he moves to A. But what you want to give? If he gets 80, you want him to keep it as A, right?
Yes.
I'll just change it everything to equal to, also greater than equal to. Now this will work fine. He has achieved 35, so he got D. He has achieved less than 35%, so he is in grade E. Ganesh has achieved 75%, so he is in grade B. Nagesh has achieved 65%, so he is in grade C. And Praveen has achieved 50%, so he is in grade D. Good for you, Rupali?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
No problem. Pleasure.
I got it.
Great. Any questions, guys, on if functions? I think I have taken everything in if functions. There is nothing left in basic if functions.
Vismay, just show that percentage in the last if function which you showed. You can show once.
Last, as in this one, the grade ones.
The percentage one. The percentage. No, not the grade one. The earlier one.
Where you need to calculate 20% and 25%.
Yes.
Okay. So in this particular example where we know that the achievement, if the achievement is greater than 80%, we need to give a percentage value as an incentive for this particular salesman. So if he has achieved 80%, more than 80%, he should get 25% of whatever he has achieved. If he is getting, if he has achieved anything between 70 to 79%, he should get 20% of whatever he has achieved. Okay, so this is how the formula goes. So here I have taken down the achievements, and in this formula, if the what is the first criteria? If his achievement is greater than equal to 80%, he should get 25% of whatever he has achieved. Okay. In the second criteria, if his achievement is greater than equal to 70%, he should get 20% as an incentive of whatever he has achieved. And the last criteria is, if the achievement is greater than equal to 65%, he should get 10% of whatever he has achieved, and else he should get 0. Close all the brackets and copy this and paste this format. Rashmi, clear?
Yes, Visma. Thanks.
Great, guys. I think you have successfully covered 60% of your Excel. Excel is huge, but even if you go through all the things which I have just taught you, you know more than 60%. Okay. If you have any questions, you can email me, WhatsApp me. Our group is on. You can ask me anytime your questions. I'm also going to send you Raghavan, I have a book on Excel for beginners. I am going to publish that book on Google Play and on other ebooks website. I'll share the link on group, so you can go ahead and get that ebook from there. But yes, I'm going to share this practice Excel with you on the WhatsApp also, and I'm also going to share it on email. So you can open this practice Excel and you can also try out what we have just learned. Okay, I'm soon going to cover up a few more topics on Excel. So stay tuned, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also give your valuable feedbacks on all my social media handles, or any of my social media handles, or none of my social media handles, whatever feels good for you. If you think this was useful for you, please go on my Facebook page, like that page, and put in your comments on that. Okay, anything else, guys, you want from me on this particular session? You're welcome, Ketki. Thanks, Kapil. Thanks, Galaxy 50. Raghavan, thank you so much. Swati, I don't think I've recorded this video, but if it has been recorded by default, I'll definitely share it. Thank you, Vidula Tai. Thanks, Rashmi. Thank you, guys. So let's call off this. Let's say bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.